because I think this is important. James Myrtle reported today, James Myrtle of The Athletic and of the Steve Dangle podcast family, reported today that it's pretty much done with Zach Hyman. Probably he's done in Toronto. And he's going to command somewhere. Chris Johnson said this too. Somewhere in the neighborhood of $6 to $6.5 million a year.
He's done because of big money.
Yes. And here's the funny part. So you would pay $6.5 million for a guy with bad knee history who's 29 and his career high points pace was this year at 63, or Taylor Hall. Is that what you're telling me the NHL is going to do?
Someone will. No.
But people were like, even in the comments, I read the comment section. Oh, Taylor Hall's not more than a $5-6 million player. You're out of your fucking mind. Yes, he is.
But you also got to remember, we're talking about a player in a unique situation. So again, when I was listening back, you were talking about Dougie Hamilton being the belle of the ball on defense. Up front, it's Taylor Hall for the second consecutive year. Right? So it's very interesting for him. What happened to him last year? He was humiliated. He was.
Well, because a team walked away from him.
A team walked away from him. Yeah, but he's the belle of the ball. Like he's the forward. It shouldn't be the Preds walking away from you shouldn't make or break your summer. Everyone should want you.
Well, that's his agent's fault, though.
Yes, it is.
They took.
So he's going to go. Listen. Boston. Let's say it's Boston. Boston. I was good for you, wasn't I? Yeah. All right. Don't insult me, and let's get this done. You know what I mean? I think Taylor Hall is going to go somewhere on less than you think.
So
I don't think he gets 8.
So my question is, do you take Taylor Hall at 7 or Zach Hyman at 6.5?
Sure. I love Zach, but Taylor Hall.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah. I love Zach very, very, very much.
And it's funny what fresh meat on the market looks like versus a guy who isn't fresh meat. He was the big get last year. And he wasn't gotten except for by the Buffalo Sabres. And all of a sudden now, well, because he had a 2.3 shooting percentage or whatever in Buffalo, we're not really so sure about Taylor Hall. I mean, listen, what's Taylor Hall won?
One series, and it was this year.
We also got to ask how many years. If it's $7 million, is Taylor Hall going to get 7 years?
I think he's going to get 7 years.
Well, like you look at so many players who have been put in unhappy situations by signing these long deals that don't make any sense. Get good money for Taylor Hall for 4 years is more than reasonable.
Well, they make sense. Long-term deals always make sense for the player because that's just security in your entire life. Mm-hmm. Like if you're a player, yes, financial sense, it always makes sense. Like you always just sign the big contract because you're a hockey player and your knees could go out at any moment and your production would be cut in half and all of a sudden you're not making any money and you're out of the NHL. Like, but I don't fault any player ever for taking the most amount of years.
I agree. I 100% agree with that. Too. I 100% agree with that. There's lots of players getting traded from team to team to team who literally cannot play anymore. Mm-hmm. Like literally cannot take the ice. Something would have to happen to Taylor Hall to make him that. But those long-term deals make sure you get paid for the longest. But they also oftentimes make it difficult for you to stay in the National Hockey League. How bad do you want to stay in the National Hockey League?
Well,
you know what I mean? You're going to get older. It's coming for all of you. All of you.
Right.
You're going to get older. Do you want to win? Do you want to be pressured out of town, shipped out of town, or do you want to be appreciated?
Would you qualify Taylor Hall as a great level hockey player? There's elite level, which you Connor McDavid.
He's great.
I think he's great.
Great. Okay. I think the definition of great is
what would you call him? What would you call him?
I'd say great is like all-time great.
No. I didn't say all-time great. I just said great right now.
No, I mean
great player right now.
Great amongst the elite players right now. No, I didn't
call him elite. I said he's great. I said he's great amongst most players, right?
Wait, do you have elite above?
Yeah, elite is Connor McDavid, motherfuckers. Okay. Great is the second level.
Jesse, when you be president or choose high or low,
you guys can you tier it instead of using your funny words?
McDavid is tier 1.
Okay.
Tier 1.
Yeah.
And I put Crosby, McKinnon on that tier, right? Maybe Matthews, depends on what model you want to look at. But I put Crosby, McKinnon, and McDavid on that tier.
I put Taylor Hall in tier 3.
Tier 3?
Yeah, because I think you have the McDavid, McKinnon, Kucherov tier. And then you have the second tier where you get, like I put JT probably in that tier, just some of the other stars on the team. And then you get a tier 3 where you have Taylor Hall. Because Taylor Hall, you got to remember, like on a team like Boston, he's a second line player.
And
like and a winger. Like there's a whole line and a centerman who are ahead of him on his own team. How am I putting him in tier 2 with the second best players in the league? You know? So like that's where I'm putting Taylor Hall. If we're ranking tiers.
For legacy, like, okay, take the Leafs out of the conversation.
Hang on,
like,
I would like to complete the point I was trying to make.
Sure.
Before I got derailed. The point I'm trying to make here, Steve, is remember Roberto Luongo's press conference where he said, I wish I could tear this contract up?
My contract sucks.
Contract sucks, and he got
paid.
Yeah, he got paid. And guess what? He also got traded eventually,
and
which is what he wanted.
No cut.
And he got traded back to Florida, and he was happy.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, for guys who are pretty damn good, and I would put, if you won't put them in the great category, we'll put them in the pretty damn good category.
Tier 3.
Taylor Hall.
I take tiers very seriously.
Is not going to have trouble being skilled enough to be in the NHL. And here's what I would also say to you is, okay, so Taylor Hall goes, I signed a 3-year deal, but I left $30 million on the table.
Not going to do it.
Is that going to make you happy? No. That's not going to make you happy. It isn't. So they're signing a long-term deal this offseason, guys.
You can always get traded.
Yeah, fuck it. Why? I'm worried about 3 years from now if I'm going to be liked here or not. How about right now? And how about generational wealth? I don't think anyone gives a shit about what happens 3 years from now. I think they're going, how am I right now?
Throw a Taylor Hall deal at me. Just throw it at me.
49 million, 7 years.
So 7 times 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm just throwing it at you.
Jesse, throw it at me.
Catch it.
I threw 7 times 7. What Adam says very good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's very good.
So Taylor Hall is sitting on $52.2 million in career earnings. You guys are, with your contract, putting him over 100.
Okay,
putting him over 100.
I know where you're going.
What matters to you? What matters to you? Like Jesse just talked about greatness. What matters to you?
No, it's not the same. Not all hockey players look at it the same. Some guys, this is
they look at it wrong.
Steve.
They look at it wrong.
You are David
Pastrnak
Pastrnak to you. You are David Pastrnak in a sea of David Clarksons.
Yeah.
David Pasternak's been to the Stanley Cup final at least once.
Yeah.
Sure.
But we don't want to
say
it. But some guys who are playing professional sports
don't give a shit about winning.
They care about money more than winning, which is fair. You can look at life wherever you want, how you want to look at. Maybe their family life and taking care of having generational wealth is more important than winning a ring.
Man, his cap hit this year was $68,966 per day. Almost $69,000, which would have been nice. Like, all I'm saying, you take $9 million off that 49, which is significant, and you still have over $90 million in career earnings. Yes, there's tax. Yes, there's your agents. Yes, there's escrow. For God's sake, what do you want to do with your life?
Make $9 million more. Like,
yeah. Oh, guys, I'm glad I got to the third round several times because that 30 million sure would have sucked.
You know what's guaranteed? Hey, Adam, I can guarantee you one thing. You'll have $9 million. Or I can not guarantee you that your team's going to win because hockey is just a bouncing disc on the ice and nobody knows who's going to win.
Jesse, you already know where I'm going with this.
Do you want the $9 million?
I'll take the guarantee for $9 million, please.
The mystery box of winning.
Listen,
this is a horrible way to look at it in terms of sports. And it's horrible. It's horrible. Oh my God.
Okay, let me throw something at you. Let me throw something at you, Steve. Let me throw a different example at you. LeBron James signs a 1-year contract every year.
One by one.
Do you know why he signs a 1-year contract every year?
For a $40 bajillion, yeah, because he gets more money that way.
Because he wants to make league max. Even though LeBron James has signed a lifetime contract, I think, with Nike that'll pay him $1 billion. Do you think that it does matter? And no one can tell me that winning doesn't matter to LeBron James. The guy went to 7 straight finals. It matters.
None of these players have done anything close to what
But
he's
that's
done.
not the point, Steve. The point is
certainly is the point. You brought up a guy, and he's not a good
give
example.
Up money for a chance, maybe at the Stanley Cup final. You got to remember, 2 years ago, the defending Stanley Cup champions this year, they got swept by the fucking Blue Jackets.
No, there can't.
You go get the money.
It can't all be luck. And like we're acting like the Blue Jackets were passengers in their own defeat trophy of the. So the Blue Jackets were passengers in their takedown of the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's just not true. It's just not true. The Blue Jackets beat them as competitors.
So are you going to feel good about
for a championship?
Okay, but if are you going to feel good about giving up $30 million if by some chance some plucky upstart team sweeps you? Are you going to feel good about that?
This point that you're making is great for the 2019 Tampa Bay Lightning. They all took less and they fucked up and lost. You know who screws it up? The Tampa Bay Lightning of the very next year, who won and are in the Final Four again and might win again.
Mm-hmm. The argument that they all took less is a little.
Also, yeah, they did.
They took less than they could have.
Sure.
Who's all? The entire team didn't.
They didn't squeeze. They didn't squeeze them like the Leafs players did.
Who didn't take less?
Let me
look at this team.
I wish. Let me say this, Steve. I wish we lived in a reality where all professional athletes cared about winning as much as the three of us do in terms of our sports teams. But they are humans, and not all of them do. And some of them like money more than winning. And in reality, this happens, and guys will take the paycheck more than winning a championship. But I wish that wasn't the case and that they cared as much as we do.
Steven Stamkos was an unrestricted free agent and signed for $8.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
You stop it. You stop it right now. Victor Hedman makes 7.8. You stop it right now. Will you stop it right now? There's no way. They took less.
There's two guys. I'm not saying.
Oh my God.
I'm not saying there aren't guys. Like, I'm saying that some guys don't and some guys do.
I know. I mean, Zach Hyman does not have to return to the Leafs, for example. He does not need the money.
Well, if he wants to win, he shouldn't. He shouldn't.
If he wants to win, let's just have an open and honest conversation. If he wants to win, he should not sign with the Toronto Maple Leafs. They suck. So they don't suck. They just suck at winning, which I guess means they suck. So it has nothing to do with the Leafs, but he should not chase every goddamn dollar. He should chase championships. He should chase a legitimate chance at a championship.
Yeah, and some guys
so should Taylor Hall.
Some guys do.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I'm advising these guys to be those guys.
Once they've made their money.
I don't understand what you're disagreeing with.
Ray Allen's a perfect example. Ray Allen.
I'm saying there's both, you know?
Ray made the big bucks and then went and signed with a bunch of LeBron teams. And he won a championship as being a core of the Celtics, I think.
Well, we're talking about how much luck is involved in hockey. So you're talking about make your money, and then hopefully you still have knees at 37, and you're needed and can compete on an NHL roster.
I have no problem with that.
That's the plan?
You're an athlete. Go secure the bag.
That's not a plan. That's a hope and a prayer.
Okay, well then I'll take my chances and take my 30 million plus, please.
No, Adam, don't take
the 30 million. Who doesn't already have it? These guys are already rich.